My name is Michael Baird, and I started playing baseball around the age of 5. My dad played baseball all the way up to his senior year of high school, but never made it any further. And so I guess, just whenever it was time to, start, when I started to get that, activity level of, those hyper, toddlers and, kids growing up, my dad just started playing baseball with me. And actually, my first friend ever, who's actually still one of my best friends today, his name's Cody Houston. His dad actually was, his job was playing in the major leagues. So he played with the Cubs, the Rockies, I think about like 3 or 4 other organizations, but he had like a good 15-year career. And so Cody wanted to start playing baseball, and we were about like 5 or 6, and I was, I just wanted to be like my friend. And so I was like, hey, yeah, I want to be like Cody. And so the funny story was Cody was number 9 like his dad, and I was like, you know what, I want to be number 9 too. And my mom's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, all right, I want to be number 10. So me and Cody were 9 and 10, and we just grew up playing baseball, and ended up just falling in love with it.
What was your like first position in baseball?
First position, I was actually, the funny story is, there's a million funny stories in my career, but the first one was, I was the worst on my first team ever. I was the worst player on my team. My coach put me in right field and never let me play an inning. I always batted last, and I never got to see infield or any action really. So it was kind of I started as an underdog from there, and had to work my way up, and got a lot of work ethic and stuff like that because I've always been an underdog physically. I started late with baseball like that, with Cody and all that stuff. So I think all the other guys had a little bit more experience.
So when did you think about pitching, or like when did that come up?
Actually, I played with that team for 2 years. And then my dad said, he didn't really like that coach because I wasn't even really playing at all. I hated baseball. And then, so we switched teams, to just like, a youth league, and we switched, my team was the Hawks. Great team. Hawks Red, still remember. And, my first game, my coach let me play pitcher. As it was coach pitch, but like, kid could play pitcher. Mm-hmm. And so you just stand next to him on the side. And I was so excited. I finally got to play infield, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a part of the game. It was so cool. And like, I actually made a really good play, and we just kind of took off from there. So it was kind of fun. So and then
your high school career, how about?
So I kept playing through that. That just kept practicing. I went to Legend High School in Parker, Colorado, and I was, sorry, I have a really bad cold, so I've lost my voice and everything, so sorry if I sound like a dweeb, but, I was actually a really late bloomer, puberty-wise and physically. I could still, just to this day, I can barely grow a beard. I've still got peach fuzz all over my face, but I was actually, I went to a really large high school. I graduated with about 500 people. I think there's usually about 2,000 people in my high school, always. So we're like the biggest school. So we have a really good baseball team. A few of my teammates are actually in the minor leagues, and a few of them are about to make it all the way to the big leagues. So we had a really good high school, but I was one of the only sophomores to make varsity. And then we made it all the way to a state championship and lost, and that was horrible. But just everyone, like my best friend, it was just kind of stunk a little bit because I love the sport and everything. I was getting great opportunities, but everybody just kept seeming, right when I got ahead of the curve and became kind of like a good baseball player, everybody started to get really physical and started throwing harder, hitting balls farther, hitting home runs, and all these pitchers are throwing like 92 miles an hour, and I was like, I can barely squat my body weight. And I'm like, my grandma would call me skin and bone. I was like 6'3", 6'4", like 140 pounds, like my freshman and sophomore year. I was a twig. And so I had to work just as hard, if not harder, just to, get more I had to spend twice as much time in the weight room. I had eating programs and all that stuff. And my goal, my high school career as a freshman, I just wanted to play any type of college baseball, whether it was JUCO, Division III. I just want to play college baseball and see where it could take me. And my work ethic, and I was blessed with some height and a little bit of talent, and I somehow made it to a Division I school here in Southern Illinois.
Were you looking at other schools or like?
Yeah, I was. A lot of the better schools, they recruit and commit guys their sophomore and junior years. Like my best friend, he committed to Oregon State, that was ranked number 1 overall at the time. But he had puberty when he was one of those guys where like in middle school he had a full beard, and so he's actually currently he got drafted out of high school. He's in the Rockies organization right now. But all those bigger schools, they recruit guys at a younger age. So they were out of scholarship money, but there were still a few D1s. I heard from Wichita State offered me a walk-on spot. Southern Illinois, there's a few D1s out in Colorado. A few JUCOs here and there, but just a lot of mid-tier D1s. I think Creighton, and I heard a little bit from a few Ivy League. That's all I heard from. So, but yeah, we just kept moving up from there. Then I got here.
What was going through your head when you were signing to
play here?
Yeah.
I was just blessed. I was like, Lord, I have no idea why you're giving me this opportunity, because, I've been so behind my entire baseball career, but I mean, there's a sense of achievement and pride and excitement, I guess. So, got here as a freshman, and there was a few other Colorado kids on the team, because one of our assistant coaches was from Colorado, so they'd recruit out there. So, it made me feel like home, and I had a rough freshman year because, we were a young team, so I got a lot of playing time. I was a weekend starter there as a freshman, which never happens usually to a lot of guys, just because those are, usually your best pitchers, but we were just so young and inexperienced that, we didn't have a great year at all. So, I was blessed with given a lot of opportunities as a freshman. I either did amazing or I was absolutely horrible my freshman year, so there was no really in between. But I took those experiences and moved on to my sophomore year, and I realized after my freshman year I hated losing with a passion. Like, that was the worst experience of all time, is walking off the mound knowing you just lost the game single-handedly for your entire team. And so I took that sense of being an underdog that I've had my entire life, and the feeling of just losing for your team and stuff at such a high level of competitive Division I. And I took that to the off season. My coach said basically, because at the time I was still kind of skin and bone. I was 6'4"-ish, I think, like 190 pounds, maybe 195. My pitching coach just told me what I needed to work on. I needed to get stronger, needed to gain some weight. I just needed to be able to repeat my mechanics and pitching stuff so I can get more confidence, and that's what I did. I went and got a trainer, went and got on eating programs, and just that summer I grew like 2 inches and gained like 15 pounds. So I came back like 6'5", 6'6", like 210, and I was in like the best shape of my life. In my sophomore year, all that hard work paid off.
How was your workout routine on and off the season?
Oh, okay. Usually off season is a little bit more like, over that summer where I wasn't playing, it's very intense. You got to be eating right. You got to be, my parents would say every time I opened my mouth, there should be food going in it, because I've just been this skinny kid my entire life. And then off season is really when you get after it. Like, you're moving a lot of weight and you need to be as physical and big as possible. Once you get in season, it's usually, you just try and maintain and stay healthy, stay strong, but you don't want to, fatigue yourself out because it's a long season. So, that's usually, that's kind of what helped me, I think, was just, allowing myself and my body to, really mature over, the first year or two of college baseball. And my sophomore year, I, did really good. Was first team all-conference, second team all-region, led the league in a lot of things and really put a name out there for myself. Last year, did really good the first half of the season. Then there was like 3 or 4 really horribly bad starts, but hey, it happens to everyone, right? And then I ended the season pretty strong. And then now we're just going into this senior year where it's my last shot, and hopefully I'm just gonna give my best. I'm trying to get in the best shape of my life, just keep pushing, keep grinding, and hopefully give my team the best chance to win and maybe make a NCAA regional.
What's your plans after graduation and whatnot? After this year, are you thinking about the draft or?
Yeah, the draft was actually a big opportunity for me last year, but it just ended up not happening. So those things kind of happen. So hopefully, good Lord willing, I'll get a chance to move on and get a chance to sign a professional contract and then just go into the minor leagues. It's still a long road to make it to TV every single day, but so that's my dream. So I mean, if it works out, cool. If not, I got my degree, and I think I'm either gonna try and make it, try and go into the military. Maybe I haven't decided. Try and go to officer school, maybe like a human resources officer or something like that, or follow my dad's footsteps. He's a pharmaceutical sales manager, so I'm trying to take my communication degree and my minor in psychology and sociology and try and go talk to some people and make some sales to make a living. So yeah.